Okay, time for an update, I guess. I just closed off the engine compartment and then thought about doing this, but I've taken off the alternators, so, and then the regulators. So the company just wanted both regulators, both alternators. I've taken photos of these wiring harnesses to try to get them back together when it comes, but it's not, it looks crazy, but it's actually not too complicated because there's just pretty obvious terminals on the back of the alternators where to go. Here's the two alternators, big 200 amp and a 60 amp. This one actually has Lauderdale battery on it, which is where I'm going to get it tested, which is kind of funny. So we'll see what they say about that. But anyhow, I'm gonna take those in. I discovered that the anchor light was working last night, and it's a little unusual because my panel isn't on. There's no battery actually coming out of the house bank circuit. And so yesterday while I was at the coffee shop, I was studying the previous owner's wiring diagram and the photo I had, and there were two wires I couldn't account for. And I've now figured out that those have been, basically that anchor light was wired directly into the house bank. I connected everything back as it was so I could get all the monitors working and the sensors for the regulator and all that, and that completely drained my battery last night. It's definitely not an LED anchor light, and so now I have one more dead battery on board, and so that's a little discouraging. And then when I went to take off the 200 amp alternator yesterday, I needed this big old hex key to be able to undo it. And so this morning I woke up, went in, got that, came back, getting the alternators, going back. It's about a 20-minute dinghy ride each way, but it's okay, and it'll all work out. But now I'm gonna go to the battery alternator company and see if these things work, and if they, depending on what they say, will be what my next steps are. Okay, time for another update. I guess I can take this headlamp off. So we got light. It's awesome, and it's actually coming from the that's a different switch, so got to figure out how this thing works. But this is actually coming from these lights on the distribution panel. So before, I had the lights working, but I was stealing it off the engine circuit and kind of cheating, because it comes straight to its switch to the crossover stuff right to here. This is actually running properly through the whole system, and so I replaced that 300 amp fuse that was blown out. There's one battery in the engine compartment still connected as the engine battery, but there was another one there that was fully charged, and I took that over to the house compartment, replaced my 300 amp fuse, and the circuit's working. And so I had the anchor light working the other night, and well, actually it just started working because of what I hooked back up, and it completely drained my battery. So I don't have that connected right now. I just am running the lights and a few other things. And so I went to the eMarine Systems store today, and they're going to be real heroes in helping me work all this out, because I was needing to figure out if the solar panels are working, is the charge controller working, one of those is wrong, and then needing to find a place to get the voltage regulators and stuff like that. And so they've given me some tests to run on the solar panels, but it was completely fully charged, and so this battery, and I need to have it at least partially discharged in order to be able to tell if it's working correctly. And so I'm going to run the lights for a bit, keep an eye on it, not let anything get drained too low, but it's a big battery, and I should be able to use the lights and fans normally tonight, and then tomorrow see if the solar panels work and if the charge controller works, and if not, get on fixing a new system, because today is Wednesday and Dad, Bill, and Camille come in Monday night. And so I'd love to have a stable system where we have our house circuit working, have a way to recharge it, both with solar and with 60 amp alternator and the 200 amp alternator. I don't know if I updated you guys. I'll say it again with the way I took the alternator to Fort Lauderdale battery, and I think it's Fort Lauderdale battery and alternator, and the 60 amp engine battery engine alternator was dead. And then the 200 amp alternator worked, but its voltage regulator was dead, and so I didn't really have any components and systems fully working. And so they're going to give me a quote tomorrow on rebuilding the 60 amp, and then I need to get a new voltage regulator for the 200 amp, and then I'm going to put them all back in, double check all my wiring, harnesses, everything else, get a charged battery in the system, have my solar panels working, charged engine battery, and we'll just see how everything goes. And at that point, I could feel confident purchasing new actual batteries for the battery bank. So I'd probably get new L16 HAC batteries, just like they were already in here. Put them in, and we'd be good to go. And then I'll begin testing systems. I tested the water pressure pump very briefly, and water came out of the tap, and it charged itself up. There's actually two, one probably for the forward head, one for the aft, and other systems. So I got a lot to figure out with all this. Some of the instruments came on, some didn't. I don't know if I was flipping the right switches, but until I know I can put power back in, I'm not just going to start turning random stuff on. So anyhow, pretty good though. I'm happy that the house circuit seems to be at least working, because now it's each circuit, each switch is its own test and thing, and as long as that fuse doesn't fry again, I think it's going to be all right. And so I'm going to get the alternators back on. I'm going to figure out this. I'm going to get some sort of solar array, whether it's a completely brand new system or using what's already in here, and then we're gonna be getting there. So it's nice to be not in headlamp mode, and to be able to have this light on. But I'm not gonna go like too crazy until I can put power back in. But then I'll be seeing how much water's in the water tanks. How do we tell that? Basically just making sure I'm going to do each system independently and see how it goes. But anyhow, it's a good start, and it's great to have a resource like eMarine Systems right here in Fort Lauderdale, where I can know I can get the components quickly and have some really good advice. I probably was in there for 45 minutes just talking with Alex there, and it was really nice to be able to just chat through some stuff. So all good. Okay, let's do another update here. So that didn't go terribly well. I got the alternator installed, went on just fine, of course. Got it tightened up. It was the more snug one and tougher to get off, and so it was a little tough to get on. I think the other one will be better. Got everything hooked up appropriately. The guys did a great job getting me kind of pre-wired on the harness and all that. And I connected, the only thing I connected from the old system was the red cable to the positive, and then the negative cables. And I went and turned the engine circuit on, and it started sparking and smoking. So I turned it off, and it continued sparking, which I'm not exactly sure why it would do that. And so I got the little nut off, and it was hot, and I got it disconnected, and then the nut was too hot, and I dropped it, and the space to get into the bilge was about this big, and it bounced 3 times and went right into that frigging hole. And so that's gone forever. And so I don't know, but I was able to start the engine up. Now the pulley for the water pump is running. So tomorrow I'm planning on moving to a dock nearby. Gabe, the previous owner, is going to help me, which is awesome. And they're ready for me. That we're going to get a nice, supposedly an easy on and off spot, and they're going to have lots of hands also available at the dock in case we need it. I've got my Towboat US package, so if something terrible happens, we can rely on those guys. And I went to Sailorman today and got 2 big ball fenders and a cylinder fender, 2 of those, and then some nice big used dock lines that are in great shape. So nice to have a great consignment store like that right here to be able to get some stuff, because we don't need shiny new ones, you know, and so it was all a good value. And so anyhow, I'm a little sad about the alternator. I guess if I just fried it again, Neil can build me another one for $100 repair. That's what they did on the last one. And so I hope it didn't kill it though, but I definitely have some work to do to figure out what's up. And so tomorrow, I just can't deal with it today. I'm tired and I'm gonna make mistakes. And so tomorrow I'm gonna put the new Balmar voltage regulator on, the 200 amp alternator. It's its own separate kind of additional pulley system that was added on, so it can be off for when we move tomorrow, and I think that'll be just fine. But anyhow, definitely got some stuff to work out, but tomorrow I'll be attached to a dock, hopefully, and instead of doing a 30-minute dinghy run in and back, I'm actually going to be at a much easier on and off. Dad, Camille, and Bill come in, what's today? Today's Friday, so I've got Saturday, Sunday, on Monday night they fly in, so I've only got basically 3 more nights for these before they come in. But I'll be at this marina. It's very expensive, and we're on a big boat, so we just gotta deal with that. But we want to get moving as quickly as we can, because we're going to spend a fortune at this spot. But it is going to make life much more convenient, and I think it's going to be worth it. So anyhow, that's kind of the update. We'll give a better tour later. But this is in the main salon, so if you see any of that, it's pretty cool, nice and big, and it's a really sweet boat. But still working on stuff, still got issues, but I guess if it was easy, she would have sold a long time ago, you know. So we got a good deal, and that takes some work to figure things out. So we'll see what's next.